So, yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this session. I am Chaitanya Devrel Steva, and we have with us Samson, who is Microsoft MVP as well as Microsoft Certified Trainer (MCT) and a software developer. So he will be talking today about C Sharp and source generator. So make sure that your friends don't miss this session. Do share about this session among your friends, and if anyone wants to remind them, just remind them that we are starting this session. Yeah, so recording for today's session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, Steva, and you will be getting the certificate for participation for this session. For that, you need to stay till the end of the session. Make sure that you don't miss anything. We will be sharing a feedback form, and those who will be filling out that feedback form will be receiving the certificate of participation. So make sure that you fill that feedback form correctly with all the correct details of your name, email address, and everything. So we will be sharing that feedback form at the end of the session. And this session will be of 1 hour duration. So make sure you stick here till 1 hour. And you can join our community in order to stay updated about our upcoming events and trainings. So, and once again, thank you all. Thanks for joining. Good morning, good day from wherever you are joining. Yeah, so I think Samson, we can start this session. It's already 11 a.m. Your local time, so I think we are on time. We can start this session.
All right. So I am sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah. Hello everyone, and thank you for showing up. We're going to be looking into source generators in C Sharp. So I'll be the one in charge of this session. And my name is Samson Amugo. I am a software developer and a Microsoft MVP. So today we're going to be looking at source generators. Source generators are like code components that enables developers to hook into the compilation process of the source code and generate new code based on the metadata. Metadata could mean like the structure of your code or where some particular information is written. So it can generate new data based on this. It can generate new code based on the metadata from the original source code, or it could just be from an arbitrary file, a text file, a JSON file. The next thing we're going to look into is the syntax factory API. So this API is very, very important when dealing with source generators because it's with the syntax factory API that you use to understand the structure of your code. And the syntax factory API is used to convert your code into a type version. So it enables you to like see the tree building, the built version of your code in a tree form, and that form is strongly typed. So there's a link here that I added, Mr. Roslin put the website. So it enables you to convert your source code into the syntax factory API, into that type, strongly typed version. So let's look at this website. Okay. So this is the website, roslinquota.azurewebsites.net. And let me try to put a sample code here. So this is a property in the person class. I just wrote a small class here. And to see the Roslyn, sorry, to see the Syntax Factory API version. Am I still connected? Hello? Okay, so to see the Syntax Factory API version of this code, I'll click on Get Roslyn API code to generate this code. I'll click on this button. And here is the converted code. So all these types you're seeing here is like a transformation of this my code into a strongly typed C# tree. And to show you that I can actually convert this tree into this code, let's copy this output. So I'll copy it, and then I want to use this type version and convert it back to this code. So to do that, I'll need to add this NuGet package. It's called, name is microsoft.codeanalysis.c#. I'll need to add it. This is a console application. I need to add it to this project. And then I would, let me clean this. I'll import some namespaces. Code analysis. And using then I would also import this static. That's it. Yeah. Now I'll say code equals to I'll just paste what I copied from here. I'll paste this strongly typed Syntax Factory API. So I'll paste it here. And then once I do console.writeLine code, you see that if I execute this code, it's going to be converted back into this code here. So let's try that out. Yeah, so this is the output. You can see that this code is exactly like the one we wrote here. So that's to show you that this and this are the same, but this is like the strongly typed version in code form of this. Now, to have this functionality included in your Visual Studio Editor, let me show you how to do it. You can also have this feature in your code editor. So to do that, you click on Tools, then click on Get Tools and Features. So once you do that, you see this Visual Studio installer displaying. Okay, just hold on. It's taking a bit of time. Okay, yeah. So once it shows up, then you scroll down and tick this tool set, Visual Studio Extension Development. So once you tick it, then you modify your installation, and then you have this syntax visualizer feature included in your Visual Studio. So to see that, let me remove this first and paste this initial code so that you see that we can also get this kind of similar functionality here. So I'll click on Edit. So I'll click on View, then I'll click on Other Windows. Next, I would click on Syntax Visualizer. Yep. So this is my Syntax Visualizer. This is similar to what that web application that we were on is similar to what that website does. And it's pretty cool that it's integrated within your Visual Studio editor. So we can actually can run through this class and see it here. So this is an identifier token identified here, and this is like more details related to this token, the name token. And I can see more. Okay, let's click on this class called person class. So this is these are like extra details, or the details related to this person name, the class person. So let me get back to the slide. Then the next thing that we're going to look into is the semantic model API. So the semantic model API helps you to like gain more insight into the structure of your code, your source code. So together with so when you combine the syntax factory API and semantic model API, you're able to like get a lot of insights on your source code, and then use that in the logic involved in generating new code. So if I go back here, okay, let me add a namespace to this. It's important. I don't think it's. Let me just leave it like this. So to see the semantic model of this, I would right click on this class declaration here. Sorry. This one is showing. Okay, one other thing you can do here, maybe the syntax visualizer, I can see the syntax graph using this tool. So if I click on view directed syntax graph, I'll see this. Okay, what is here is end of line trivia, because that is what I clicked on. I'm actually at the end of the line here. But if I click on this and right click here, I'll see this. And it seems like my PC is hanging a bit. Okay, yeah. So I'll see the name and the white space. So the entire detail of this code base, of this little source code, is represented using this tree, this syntax tree. And to gain the semantics of this, I'll right click on class declaration and click on view symbol. So this is like extra semantic information in regards to this. So this tool enables us to visualize the syntax and also gain access into the semantic model API. So for the purpose of this workshop, we're going to concentrate on incremental generators. So incremental generators are like, it's just a new version, latest update in the source generation design in C#. So incremental generators enables developers to build highly performant source generators. And the incremental generators, they were developed to overcome the shortcomings of the original source generator. So let me explain that on a high level using this image. So the way the original source generators were designed is that for any change in your inputs, the same logic that generates new outputs would rerun. It doesn't like cache, nothing. So when there are like different, when there are lots of updates or edits done on your source code, this could hamper performance. It could like drastically reduce the performance of your Visual Studio editor. So that is where the incremental generators comes in. So here is the incremental generator. This is like an explanation of what it does. So if there's a new input, let's say in one of its pipeline or a node, it checks if that node has been processed before. And if it has been processed before, then that means there's no need of rerunning this logic, because it will still give us the initial output. So what it does is to just check the cached version, the cached content of it, and then return that as an output. And this is what it does throughout its pipelines. So let's look into some rules guarding incremental generators. Your incremental generator would have to be a library, and it should target the NEST standard 2.0, and it should also implement the I incremental generators. So I know this doesn't really make much sense here, so let's get coding. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just write a normal console.write line command here saying, hello, I am learning about source generators. And let me achieve this so that you see that this is the only thing at this stage that this code will appears. So if I execute this code, you can see it's saying, hello, I am learning about source generators. And that is because this is the only compilation that this code has, and this is the only syntax tree that it has. So let's add a source generator to hook into this compilation and add extra code to this. So to do that, I'm going to create a library here. Source. And then remember, one of the rules is that I should target the NEST standard 2.0. So I have to change that to NEST standard 2.0. And then we have this, but then there's a dependency that we'll be needing to write out this source generator. So we're going to add the code analysis.C# NuGet package. So let me do that. Microsoft.code analysis.C#. Yeah. So we're going to add this to this project. Apply, accept. Okay. So we have it installed now. So the second rule of creating this source generator is that I would have to implement the I incremental generator. I have to import the namespace. Let me import the namespace. Yeah. So next, I'll implement it. It only has a single method to implement, which is the initialize method. Now this method, this is where you're going to write out your logic to generate source code based on some checks on maybe additional files, arbitrary files, or even your source code. But let's look into what the type of this incremental generator initialization context looks like. Let's look into it. So I'll right click here and I'll click on go to definition. So you can see that this context has some members. It has the syntax input member, it has the outputs. Oh, sorry. those are fields. Let's not look into that. It has the syntax provider. It has the compilation provider. It has the additional text provider. It also has meta references provider. So we're not going to like use all these in this workshop. We'll use maybe two. I think two, yeah. So let's go back. Let's go back here. So what I want to do is I want to analyze. I need to analyze. Okay, I want to add extra code to the compilation. So I'm going to use register source output. So the register source output enables me to look into the compilation, which is of the connected source code, which is this one. It's enabled to look into this, and then based on the information, the meta information from this project, I'll now add my logic to know how to generate my code. So the first thing here would be I want to add the context. On the context, I want to retrieve the compilation provider. So this will give me access to the source code, the initial source code. I'll do this, then I'll also add this this action. So this action takes in the context, another context, and it also takes in the compilation. So this compilation will give me access to this compilation provider. So okay, let me use CTX so that it's not interfering with the initial context. Next, what I want to do is I want to be able to retrieve all the locations of the syntax tree for this project. So let's get into that. Just you the equals to. So I'm using a string builder here to build out the extra code I want to attach into my source code. I think it should work. So I already have the code stored somewhere so that I'll not make any mistake here. So I'll just paste it. So let me use string raw neutrals decision. Then I'll paste in the code. Think that's it. So please, no problem. Then because the syntax tree, I think it's affecting the font. So I'll just copy this snippet and paste here. So this is the initial string that I'll be needing. Okay, so why is screaming is because string literals isn't yet available in this version. Remember, we're targeting the next standard 2.0. So raw string literal is not yet available here. So I can just update the language version here. I want it to use the latest language. So I'll say lang version. I want to use the latest one. I think that should stop that error from screaming. Let me build it again. Okay, yeah. So problem fixed. Then remember from this parameter, the compilation parameter, I can retrieve the metadata from the compilation, which I'm yet to connect it, but this is the compilation I'm looking at, this learn source gen compilation. So to do that, I would I say let's tree equals compilation dot syntax tree syntax trees. And I want to loop through the syntax tree and obtain and retrieve the file path. So this should do it for me. Then, okay. Yeah, this should do it for me. Then the next thing I want to do is to complete. Remember, this code now will be added here, but then this code is not closed. So I will need to like add an extra layer to close this nested code here. So the next thing I'll do is to close this out. I'll say source builder dot append. Then I'll just close it out. Yeah, in the string. I think I need one more. Yeah. So the last thing, the final thing, after building out this source code, the final step now would be to attach it into the compilation again. So this is where I'll do that. I'll make use of the CTX, the context here, dot add source method to do that. So let me call it. So this add source accepts two arguments, the hint name. So the hint name is like the name, it's just a name that the compiler would use to identify this extra source code, this extra generated code that is added. So let me just call it my tree.g. G is just a short form of like generating .cs. Then I'll call the source builder.toString method. So I think that is all for now. So but then if I run this initial code, you see that there is no extra output. So it's still the same. So the next thing to do would be to connect or link this my initial code. I have to link this my initial code to the source generator. So to do that, I would click on this project, then I'll click on add, and I'll click on projects reference. And I'll click my source div. Then I'll click on OK. But then there's something that we need to do for it to work. So this is not just a normal project. It's an analyzer. It's seen as an analyzer. So I'll say output item type equals to analyzer. So I need to escape this. Yeah. Then one last thing, I don't want to attach the reference to this project. I don't want to link the DLL of this generator, my source link generator. I don't link it to my original project. So to prevent linking or adding of that reference of the DLL, I would say reference output assembly equals to false. So this will prevent that linkage. Yeah. So now that it's linked, let's view the solution again. So review solution. Okay. This is not necessary. Okay. Let me rebuild it again. Yeah, everything looks good. So let's run this code and see if there'll be extra attributes combined with this one. Let me run it. Oh, there's no extra attribute. Seems like I'll need to restart Visual Studio for it to hook or connect properly. But let me see if the .NET CLI will be able to do that. Oh, okay. Sorry. So the final thing I'll need to do would be to, and remember, look at this code that we're adding. I'll have to import this namespace, the hello world namespace. I forgot to do that. So let's import it using this. Then the final thing to do would be to execute this method, this hello method. I'll have to call it. It's a static method, so I'll just do hello world, say hello. Then let me review this project and see if my Visual Studio will be able to. Okay, Visual Studio has not called the analyzer or the source code generator. So let's try it out again from here and see if the .NET CLI will be able to connect it. So .NET from okay, saying the same thing. The type or namespace hello world generator could not be found. Okay, let me run .NET clean to clean up this. Then .NET run it again. Okay, so there seems to be a problem with this. For some reason, it's not seeing this. Am I missing any setup? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, let me add something to debug this. Let me add some properties so that it will then meet the generated code for me. So this emits compiler generated files. This property enables you to like see the output of your source generator on disk. By default, source generator runs its execution and generates those files in memory. So this would like enable the code to be available. So let me, then another thing is I want to set the location of this generated file. So the compiler generated files attribute tab would enable me to see that. Let me save this then. Let me rerun this again, .NET View. Okay, there is one thing that I'm missing, sorry. And this should be added to the rule. One last rule is that your generator has to be marked with the generator attributes. So this is what is missing in my generator. Then this stuff is telling me to add these attributes, the property enforce extended analyzer rules property. So I'll have to add it here. Yeah. So let me review this solution again and see if it would work. I think I can remove this at this point. Can remove this. So now that I've added it, let me view the generator. Okay, sorry. I'll need to add this. And it's added here. Yeah, so review it again. Yeah, built. So now let's try to build this code again. It's not yet connected properly for some reason. CD and neutron. Yeah, it's worked this time. It's worked this time. But then the problem is from the code. In the code that I wrote here, I didn't write out this code properly. So look at the generation here. This way generated the file for me. Okay. So I think I'll need to escape all these things I need to escape are causing problem. So I think I'll need to escape it. So here I'll need to like add extra string. Or let me just replace it with this. So now looking at this, I try to escape this for 5 parts. Sorry. So looking at this in this new update, I escaped all this. So now let's rerun the generator again to see. .NET run. unrecognized sequence for the first one. Okay, let me delete this. I think it's interfering. So I'll run this again. Yeah, so it's worked this time. I'll walk you through some of the changes I made now. So the first thing I did that I missed initially was I didn't add these generator attributes. So when you're writing your generators, you have to you need to add the generator attributes to your generator. And to add extra analyzers to your generator, you need to add this to your projects, your CS project file, enforce extended analyzer rules. So I added this as well. Then to like have a view of visuals on the generated outputs, I went to the actual project, not generator project, the actual project, the CS project, the actual project, and added emit compiler generated files. So this like emits the generated files in memory from generator into your disk. Then this property enables me to like set the particular directory, the name of the directory that the emission should occur. So it's emitted into my generated directory. So this is it. So let's create a different generator. So this is a sample of what generators can do. It can hook into your compilation and then generate new code based on metadata. And the metadata that we read from this compilation is the tree. So these are the syntax tree. This is where the syntax are located in this project. So let's create a new project. Add new project. I want to create a console application. Let me call it my dictionary. My dictionary. And so what I want to do is for this dictionary project, what I want to do is I want to make use of a JSON file. I want to make use of a JSON file and use the data from the JSON file and generate a C# class. So let's say I have a dictionary called dictionary. A dictionary of strings, just words and their meanings, like a dictionary of words and their meanings. So the key is the word, and then the value is the meaning of the word. So I want to generate a file that does something like this for me. That does okay, let me just do it here. So I want to create a dictionary that does this for me. Let's say cats, a mama, cats, blah blah blah. Just I think I'm missing something. So let me just say dig dot add house a structure that's human name. So I want to create a code that attaches all these key value pair for me. But let's say I have like a very large JSON file. So let me attach the JSON file so that you get an understanding of what I'm saying. So let me add the JSON file here. New item. Yeah. So let's say I have a JSON file of words and their meanings. Let me just copy one that I already have. And paste it here. Okay, so this is a dictionary. So this is like a JSON, a dictionary JSON dictionary. Anyone? And it contains words and their meanings in a JSON style. So I want to like create a C# class, a C# dictionary that contains all this. I don't want to like read from the file when the code is running. I want to like generate a dictionary that contains all this. Wait, let me change this to data. Change this to data. So it's taking some time. I don't know why. My data is hanging. My data is hanging. Just hold on a bit to get back to yourself. Oh no. I think I have to terminate this and put it on again. Okay. Okay, it's finally worked. So this is what I would want to do. I would want to, let me see. I want to collect input. So this is just a CLI tool. So I want to collect inputs from the user. So I'll say, also right now. So I'll say enter a word to get a definition. And then I'll retrieve the word from the terminal. Then set this. Then I'll say if my dictionary, so I'm going to create a class. I've not created this class. So if my dictionary.data that contains the word, so if it contains the words to like attribute the meaning of the word to the terminal, and if it doesn't, to say word not found. So you can see this quickly sign symbols here. That is because this class has not been generated. So the next project I'm going to create now will be a generator that will create this class and populate it with the data from my JSON file. Then I'd also have to like, if I check my CSproj file for the dictionary, you see that there's no indication that I added the JSON data.json file. So for your search generator to be able to like see arbitrary files or additional files, you would have to right-click on your data.json file. You click on properties. Then in the properties window, I'll change this to C# analyzer additional file. So if I click on this, you see that it has been added. Now, what else? Yeah, take note that the location of the file that you need to generate your class has to be in the actual project. Like this additional files property has to be in the main projects, not in the generator project. So after doing this, the next step would be to create a generator for my dictionary class. So I'll right-click here and I'll create a new project, which will be my source generator. And it's also going to be a library. So I'll say my dictionary generator. Then I'll click on next. Remember, if you target .NET Standard 2.0 for it to work, then I'll click on create. So I would also have to add the Microsoft.analyzer.c# get package. So I would go to, I can just copy it. You can copy it from here. So you can copy it from here. Yeah. Just copy this and paste it here. And build this project again. Yeah. So I have the generator. Let me just call this my generator. And the generator should implement incremental generator to implement interface. And before I forget, I have to attach the generator attributes. So I've added the generator attributes. Then the next thing I would want to do will be to, okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so there's this technique used in such generators. Like let's say I want to generate a particular class based on a class located somewhere in the main source code. An easy way of me identifying that class is by attaching an attribute to it. So I'll go back to my main dictionary project. Then I'll create a partial class. Static partial class, my dictionary. So the reason why I'm using this partial modifier here is because I want to somewhere else in the code base, I want to define or implement this dictionary properly. And the implementation is going to be done in my source generator. I could actually look out for this, the name of this class called my dictionary in source generator. But to make it dynamic, I can use a marker. So the marker I'm going to use is going to be dictionary marker. So this will enable me to identify this class in the source generator. But then you might ask, where did I define the dictionary marker? Okay, we've not defined this dictionary marker. We're going to do that in the source generator. So I'll click on this. Let me rename this to my generator. Then let me attach the attributes, add it to the compilation. So I'll say, let me just copy the exact string so that I'll not make any mistake. So this would be the attribute marker. This is the marker for the dictionary. So I should always remember to update the language version on my CS Code file to latest so that to stop screaming. So I'll say lang. Oh, sorry, not here. I should put that here. Lang version latest. And that should do that. It's still screaming. Let me build it. Oh, so the error, the squiggly signs that I've got cleared. I might miss something. Yeah. Nice. So this would be the attribute that I want to add. Then I'll make use of the register. I'll make use of the register post initialization output method to register or attach these attributes to the compilation of my dictionary. So that means once I do that, this code will be available in my main code. I'll say context.register. I say context.register. Context.register posts initialization aspects. But then there seems to be a problem. Anyways, I'll get that fixed. So, okay. Let me attach this outside here. It's a constant, so that is why it's free. So the next thing I'll have to do is there's a problem here. Okay, right. The next thing was the problem. So the next thing I want to do is to call my context dot register post initialization attributes. And then in this register post initialization outputs, I would pass in the context and do this. Then I'll say ctx dot add source. So let me call it dictionary attributes dot g dot cs. That should be a string. So this is a string. Then I'll attach the contents, which is this marker. So now, if I run this code after connecting it to my main code, this squiggly sign should clear for this dictionary marker. But I'll not do that now. Or let me just do that. Let me comment this segment out first. So let's connect my main code to the generator. So I'll attach the generator here. Project reference. I'll attach this to the main project. So this is it. And then I would add this extra properties. So output item should be an analyzer, and then the reference outputs assembly should be false. So if I build this project, I think the squiggly sign here should clear. So let's try it out. Okay, I have to remove it first. Let me comment this out first. Then run it. What is the problem? So run it again. Okay, so no issues. Now let me try to run it with the source generator. Attributes are not valid. So it's having the same issue again of identifying the analyzer. So what I usually do at this point is I attach two important things, which are emits compiler generated file to save. And I also attach the location where I want the generated file to be uploaded. So after doing this, let me rerun this code again. Let me save up first. I'll click on PowerShell. Now run. Okay, cd out here. Cd into my dictionary. That's not sure. Okay, so it requires me to add this. I not add this. So I need to add this to my generator. But let me copy it from the other one. Oh, this is wrong. This ought to be in the main file, the main project. Yeah. Then here, I'm supposed to add this. Correct. So now let me save all the files again and run it. Cool. So you can see that this attribute has been generated. So look at it here. So at this point, I think I'm safe. I can uncomment this on our just delete it. Then let me run the code again to be sure that it works. Yeah. So it works without any error. Meaning, and if I uncomment this, the squiggly sign is still going to show. That is because I think it requires the file to be available. But let's uncomment it. We don't really need it at this point. Actually, I don't need it. Yeah. And so I'm learning source generator. So let me run this again. This error is causing things. Let me build out this project again. For some reason, it's not okay. For some reason, it requires this marker to be available at this point, and I don't know. So that is, by the way, this is available now. Why is it behaving this way? So sometimes it doesn't work well sometimes on Visual Studio. You have to like restart your Visual Studio. So bear with me. Okay, the name is actually Dictionary Mark Attributes. I think that is why this thing is for. Okay. I got that. So the problem why it wasn't working was that I didn't use the correct name of this dictionary, the dictionary mark attributes. So I think if I run this now, it still tells me error. That is weird. So will this work? Let's look at this. In the namespace, I know import the namespace using generator. I think is important. Using generator. Using generator. So this isn't available at the moment, but for once I change this to emit. So let me just copy this. Oh no. Let me copy this properly and then copy it for. Yeah. So let me uncomment. Let me comment this and comment this and then run this here. Table. Run this. Yeah. So the code is not available here. And I think I can uncomment this. So the next step would be to write out the logic that will populate this class, this my dictionary class. So let's do that. So the incremental generator makes use of pipelines that has cache feature integrated into it. So I want to get my dictionary from the added file from this JSON. I say var dictionary equals to I think I'm missing something. Okay, JSON file, sorry. Var JSON file equals to context dot additional. Yeah, exactly. Dot get this from. So I want to access the additional text provider, and I want to retrieve the JSON file or the file that ends with .json. Static file dot path dot ends with .json. Yeah. So what this would do is this would create a pipeline that selects or filters out the additional files. The additional file that ends with .json. So this is one pipeline. The next stage will be to retrieve the content in this JSON file. So I'll say var dictionary equals to JSON file dot select. Then I'll say text isolation document. What is the problem? Okay. So I'm going to make use of the JSON feature, JSON deserialized feature in C#. I say var JSON equals to text dot get text. Then I'll type the cancellation token and say to string. And then I'll say dictionary equals to, or I'll just return this. So I return JSON serializer. Dot deserialize. So the JSON serializer is not available in this target of .NET Standard 2.0. So I have to import it as a NuGet. So let me get that. So I'll say system.text.json. So I have to add a dependency. So I'll install it. Yeah. So at this point, it's available. So I can now do this. So I've added the namespace. So I can now return JSON deserialize. Yeah, so it's problem. I can now do JSON serializer, JSON serializer dot deserialize, and I want it to be a dictionary with a key of string and the value of string. So yeah, I'm done with this stage. So the next stage would be to find this. So I want to find this particular class. I want to retrieve it dynamically. So to do that, I would get my next stage. So my next stage would be to be a stage where I'll make use of the syntax provider method or builder. So a syntax provider and type. So I'll say var class. I want to return the class declaration syntax. So I'll say class equals to context dot syntax provider. Then I'll use the for. So this for attribute with metadata name enables me to easily retrieve members in your source code that have this attribute attached. You could actually use the syntax provider directly, but this is like a shorter way. Using the for attributes with metadata name is a shorter way of doing that. So I would say this. Yeah. So let me enter this into a new line. Then I'll retrieve my node. I don't want the cancellation too. So let's say class declaration syntax. Yeah. And I'll say sorry. So the first one will be node is. So if the node that contains these attributes is a class, so I'll return it to the next page. Yeah, so that's what this predicate does. Now the next predicates that's required is what this stuff requires, is what this class description syntax, declaration syntax will return. So this acts as a filter, and then the second predicate would perform some operations on it and return the node that you want or any data that you want based on the filter data in this first predicate. So I'll say context. So I want to return this target node. Yeah. So that is that for this stage or this pipeline. Then the final thing I want to do, I want to combine these outputs with this so that I can be able to operate on I can be able to like retrieve the class and also at the same time create or populate a class using the data from this dictionary. So I'm going to combine it in the combine method. That's a combination equals to class tag dot combine dictionary. So am I missing something? I think okay. So this should end with collect. So what this collect does is that instead of making the values gotten from here to be in different stages, it's creates a single array that contains the entire value. So that's what this collect will do. So I can access the entire value at one instance in one operation using the collect method. So now everything seems okay. So the next thing I want to do is to register the source code. And that is also where I'll like add my logic. So this dot register source code attributes. Yeah. So I actually made use of a custom string builder, which I'll just add the code here. I'll call it code builder. Code builder.cs. I'll add it. Then I'll just paste in the code. So this is like a custom code builder that I wrote. So what it enables me to do is to write my code in a properly formatted way, having all those indentation and spaces. So I'll use it in my generator. I don't like explain it line by line because of time, but it's the code builder is built upon the string builder class. I know it does. Then okay. So I'll say here class. I don't want this to be class dictionary. It should be class, not compilation. I'm not passing the compilation. So class and dictionary. Starts with now retrieving. So I'll say class and dictionary dot write dot to list dot for each. Then I'll have to like put a predicate that performs some logic here. So I'll say dictionary. Yeah. So the first thing I'll do is to retrieve the class name. So var class name equals to class and dictionary dot left dot identifier dot text. And I'll like initialize my code builder, instantiate my code builder variable. Then I'll now add some lines here, my code builder. So, okay. So this code builder enables me to, let me just call it serious. So this code builder enables me to easily write out my code in a formatted way, in a properly formatted way. Open scope and do this. So after writing or appending up to this stage, then I'll iterate through the data in the dictionary. So that's what this section does. So this is an iteration of the key value pair from this dictionary. So I think I'm missing something. Okay. So after that, I would close the scope. I just close this. Then the final thing should be this. Yeah. So at this stage, I added the code, generated code as a source code, as an extra code into the compilation, the initial compilation. So at this point, I think I can run it again to see the output. So let me delete this to avoid issues. Yeah, so save everything, use projects. Seems to be a problem somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So build again. Yeah, everything seems okay. So I would run this command again. It will take some time to compile because I'm iterating through a huge amount of code. So I'll just have to wait. Okay. Cool. So let's see if it works. Okay. It did not work because I removed this marker. I'll try to run it again to see. I'll review this. And let me run this command again to see. So this is a problem that I currently do have. I don't know if it's with this version of Search Generator, but when it emits, it seems to conflict itself again when it tries to generate. So let's see. Okay, it actually did work. It actually worked. So let me remove this. It's not necessary again. I think I'm done with the generator. So at this point, I can remove it. So if I run this project again, it should work. Okay, everything seems to work properly now. So I can uncomment this code. I can uncomment this section and see how it will perform. So it should tell me enter a word to get its definition. That's what I should see in the console. But it didn't. Why didn't this? Okay, I'm not save it. Well, let me run it here. I think it's fine. So you can see that it's working now. If I say cat, an animal of various species, if I type man, word not found. If I type house, a firm or commercial establishment. So you can see that this code is working using the generated code. This is something that you would have done that would be very, very hard to do using hand, but it was automatically generated using the source generator. So I've come to the last part, the ending of this session, and if you have any question, please do feel free to ask me the question. I think that's it. Okay, one last thing. I think it's remaining for me to drop this. So for learning resources, you can make use of these links here to learn more about source generators in C#. So these are like pretty good places to obtain information directly from Microsoft in relation to their work on source generators. And thanks for this session. These are my socials. And if you have any question related to source generators, please feel free to ask me. That's a long one.
Yeah, so feel free to ask if you have any questions. You can write down your questions in the chat box, and Samson would love to answer your questions.
Any question? Okay. No, seems like there's no question. But let's wait a bit though.
Awesome presentation, Samson. I'm sure everyone learned a lot, and the way you described it was really great, and a very cool project. It was a cool project dictionary so that you built, so it was really cool, and I hope everyone had a great experience by attending your session.
Yeah, thank you.
So I can see there are no more questions, so it means everyone everything that you explained, they understood well. So that's why there are no questions. So thank you so much, Samson. Thanks for taking your time in guiding us about source generators and in C Sharp and .NET. And do connect with and everyone do connect with Samson. I'm sharing his LinkedIn. If you have any questions, do ask him over the LinkedIn. He would be happy to guide you. And do mention how do mention your feedback about this session, how you felt, and how what are the things that you learned. So do tag him, do tag Steva. So do these things, and I hope like you had a great learning experience today. So thank you once again, Samson. Thanks for guiding us. Now I'll be sharing the feedback form and the certification form so that they can fill out this feedback form and they can get the certificate of participation. So you can drop Samson, it's up to you. But yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for taking your time in guiding us.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a pleasure. Thanks so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, so I'm sharing the feedback form. This is the feedback form. Do fill it, and you will be getting your certificate uh, by filling out this feedback form. Yeah. So I have shared that link in the chat box. Do fill it. Do give your honest feedback. What are the things that we can improve? What are the topics that we can bring in future? If you want more session on this, more session on source generator, then we can plan something with Samsung for something in more detail, or something a part two of this session, so we can plan something. So do mention that in your feedback form, and would love to hear your feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can, yeah, I'm sharing the recording for today's session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. I'll share the link, and I have shared the feedback form. You can join our community in order to stay updated about our upcoming events. I have shared the code for Discord as well as WhatsApp. So if you are not on Discord, you can join us on WhatsApp. I'll also share the link so that you can join. And yeah, I'm sharing the link. Certificate link, I have shared the certificate link. Let me just share it again. So certificate link. So I have pinned this feedback form and certificate link on the chat box. For those who missed it, you can fill out that certificate form. And I've shared the Discord link. I'll also share the WhatsApp group and our YouTube channel so that you can stay updated about our upcoming events. And this is our YouTube channel. So I've shared all the links. Do join our do join our community. Do follow us on our social media handles. This motivates us to bring more such kind of sessions for you guys. And do mention about us on the social media handles. So this helps us to bring more such kind of events. So, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can revisit the recording. If anything that you want to revise, you can do that. And I shared the WhatsApp group feedback form. And yeah, so once you fill out the feedback form, you will receive the certificate. So I can see some of you have already filled the feedback form. So yeah, so you can, I'll be here for another 2 minutes. If anyone has any doubt, feel free to ask. So how was the session? You can mention that as well in the chat box. What are the things that you learned? Anything you would like to share about the session? You can mention that in the chat box. It's open for everyone. Samson, can you share the links of the resources?
Okay, let me copy them and paste here.
Once again, thank you so much, everyone. If you have filled the feedback form and received the certificate, then uh, then do mention about us on the social media handles. Thank you once again. Thanks for joining. We look forward to have you all in the upcoming sessions as well.